Hey guys, Siddharth Rajsekar here. Welcome to this interview where I'm interviewing Mitesh Khatri, who has been a corporate trainer for many, many years in the leadership space. And after going through his own journey of evolution, coming out from the B2B space, now coming to the B2C space and starting to train people online, he was able to achieve over 8.5 lakhs in the last 30 days, teaching people to become digital leaders. So Mitesh, congratulations on that success. Amazing.
Thank you, Sid. Thanks to you.
Yeah. So I just want to go to the interview in the same casual flow. So tell us, when did you get into my system and what were you doing just before that? What caused you to, make that shift in from the B2B world to the B2C world?
So I've always been a B2B guy in the leadership domain as a corporate leadership trainer, and wanted to get into the B2C domain, but knew that the B2C domain is not easy to deal with. Like it's really competitive and it's low ticket. That's one of my biggest problems that's been, because in the corporate world we charge something like 2.5 lakh, 3 lakh rupees per day for a training program, and in the B2C world then we're struggling to charge at 10,000, 20,000. So it just never connected with me. But I wanted to get into the B2C world, knowing that I can make a difference there as well. That's where I found you, because what I realized was not only were you in the B2C world, but you were making it big. Like you were crossing 2 crores, 3 crores, 5 crores in a year. And those were the figures I was playing with in the B2B world. So I really wanted to make that happen in the B2C world, and that's why I got attracted to you.
Awesome. So when did you get started exactly? Like now, as we speak, it's been like 30 days or
30 days now. Yeah.
30
so
days.
15th April, we finished 30 days.
Wow. Because there are very few people that I know who stepped in and gone with such kind of focus, like within 30 days hitting 8 lakh plus. What's your secret? I mean, what helped you achieve these results?
I think one is because I've been in the industry for about 16 years, so I think that helped. But I think what helped most was the step-by-step system that you followed about, which is to first get your technical systems into place, and then making sure that you're focusing on giving results to your clients. I think that really stuck with me. And also because there were a lot of people who were already influenced by me. For me, I think the first 50 people was very easy.
Okay.
And I think now the ball game will really start when I get into Facebook ads and stuff. I think I've just started last week.
Okay.
And that's where I think we are looking for some more guidance from your side on, because the cold market is very different from the warm market, right?
Yes.
Right now I've only been playing with my warm market so far, although my warm market is still big enough for me to go for a year or so. But still, how does the cold market work? I'm still not sure of that. But the system was so step by step that applying it in 30 days was very easy for me. Very easy for me.
Excellent. Excellent. So tell us a little bit about your background. Like I know you've been training some of the biggest of the big names in the leadership space in the corporate world. Like you mentioned like a few names. You can also mention a few names of people who you have coached. And transitioning from that into now repackaging things for the digital space for B2C, just tell us what kind of thought process you went through in this transition from there to here.
Yeah. All right. So when I started off, there were a lot of people who discouraged me to become a trainer, because they said you don't have the experience, you should go get some corporate experience first. But somehow there was this feeling that I wanted to become a corporate trainer. And there was this one organization that helped me out at that time called Manford Alliance. And that got me started off. But in spite of that, not many people helped me in the beginning. So in the beginning, I had this mindset that when I establish myself, one day I will help out people by doing a train the trainer program of myself in the B2C world. But right now I wanted to focus on the corporate world. So for 16 years straight, I focused on the corporate training leadership domain, and worked with people like Sanjeev Bajaj, worked with people like Uday Kotak and his entire board of directors. So these are the kind of people who personally attended my program. And it's hugely satisfying. Like the Adani Group's CEOs being part of my workshops. And while it's hugely satisfying, working with that level of people is a very different experience. And then being able to make a difference in the common people out there is also a very different experience, which I never got to do much.
Right.
So what I kept doing was, I have a book which is a best-selling book known as Awaken the Leader in You. That's a national bestseller. But that's for the leadership domain. So that was for the corporates. So I wrote one for the common public out there, which is not focused on corporate audience, called the Law of Attraction book. And surprisingly, that book, if you go to Google now and Amazon.in, you'll see that the secret book comes lower, but my book comes up.
Wow, that's nice.
That's how it has sold, and I don't even know how. And probably that's how Law of Attraction works, right? We don't ask how.
Yes.
But through the book, I realized there were so many people who connected to me, thousands of people who connected to me and said, wow, this is amazing. We're getting a lot of results in our life. And I wanted to make a difference in that area as well, which is the B2C category. And that's where I then started my Train the Trainer programs a couple of months before I met you.
Okay.
I was struggling because it was all happening offline and the scalability looked really, really difficult. And I wasn't giving many people to join the opportunity to join me because I was charging like 3.5 lakhs for a train the trainer program, and not everybody could afford it.
Right.
So I wanted to create a win-win system where I could charge people low. I wanted to do that, but at the same time I didn't want to drop my value.
Got it.
And that's where your system really helped, because where I could create a level one at a reasonable ticket where everything goes digital and becomes passive for me as well. Where now I'm sleeping at night and people are buying the courses from US and Australia. Those people are already there in the course today. And the courses are going on. So that's passive income for me. And the level 2 and level 3 has already been established. So that's where the B2C, I think, something I want to focus on for the next 5 years and hopefully make it as big as you have already. Like you've got like 10,000 people in your community now.
Yes.
So hopefully we want to get there as well.
You will, Mitesh. I mean, you've got all the right ingredients in terms of the experience, the knowledge, you worked with so many people, you worked with the leadership, and now you've adapted this. So that's amazing journey. So just tell us about what was your experience in the last 30 days. Like as soon as you got my course, I know you came in, you started blazing it in terms of implementing the systems. So what were the elements that really helped you, achieve this result, whatever result, 8.5 lakhs? Like, tell us what are like the top 3 things that you were able to quickly put into place, which you were not aware of before. Yeah.
So you can't say I wasn't aware of it, but I'll tell you why it helped. The first thing that I got advantage from your program was the system itself, which is how to create this online system, how to set up your programs, and how do you really bring this online? How do you really record your programs? And even though I've been creating YouTube video for so many years and I've had experience, but the idea of converting it into a course, somewhere that step-by-step system was not there. So that's the first advantage I got. The second biggest advantage I got, I think, was simply by watching you. When you were doing a program for 500 people in many of the webinars that we attended with you, or by many of the weekly support calls that you were doing and the leadership council programs that you were doing, like 300, 500 people over there. And the way you were handling that online was as if I was handling an offline program for 500 people. And for you, offline, online didn't make any difference. Like you had blurred out that line completely. But at the same time, you were using some very powerful techniques to make sure that the people online who couldn't see you could still feel you. And they could still get results out of what you were doing. So I learned a lot from there. That was the second thing. Okay. The third thing that helped me most was the number of people who got results from your program, the testimonials that I kept seeing. And you've got this one section inside your course where you've got the Hall of Fame, so all the results are already there, right? You keep it there. And that really helped, because I think one of the main things that didn't let me implement a lot of the stuff that I already knew was just the doubt, just the self-doubt. That even though I knew I was good as a trainer, but the online system, I just always had the self-doubt, and I had the doubt in the system itself that whether this works. Right? More than the doubt in myself, I never felt that this online world, is it true? It sounded too good to be true. It sounded like an illusion when we looked at these international trainers out there, right? But in your system, I saw Indian guys creating results in 20 days and 30 days. Like I saw this one guy making 25 lakhs in 2 months, and like this is going bonkers. Like these are guys, and we are talking about how people in the Hall of Fame right now who are like, I'm 16 years experienced in training. But I've seen in the Hall of Fame people who have zero experience in training and are making 25 lakhs in the first 2 months, or the first time they're starting coaching and they're making 8 lakhs in the first 15 days. That got me ticking, saying, if these people can do it, that means the system works. There is something about this online system that really works. And so these 3 things really helped me. The technology system that you gave me, your personal experience connecting with you online constantly and getting coached, and the third was just watching these references and these testimonials.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. I mean, when I get it from your side, it seems like, okay, the system is really working. That's awesome that you've been able to see through it. So tell us, what is your opinion about the corporate training world in the current scenario? Like lockdown, everything is moving. So many, 47 million jobs have been taken away in the US, so where do you see now, you've been in the B2B, you've been in the corporate world, you're seeing this transition happening. So from your perspective, where do you see the whole corporate training side of the game going, according to you? Yeah.
See, since you've been a little in spirituality, you know about the yin-yang system, right? And yin-yang is the symbol of my organization.
Nice.
The stronger things go yin, the stronger things go yang later. Right? Anything that goes up has to go down. Anything that goes down has to go up. So in the corporate world right now, things are going to go down for the next 1 year or so.
Okay.
But then the way things are going to go up is going to be so fast that people who are ready for that in this 1 year are the ones who are going to be the winners. And I believe those are the people who are going to be mastering the digital art of teaching. And I'll tell you why. These 3 months and 6 months in the lockdown, and it's going to be probably another 3-4 months that the lockdown is going to continue.
Yes.
Based on some of the sources that I'm connecting with. And if it continues for, let's say, May, June, even July or August, during this period, everybody is going online if you've observed. Like all my trainer friends who resisted online stuff for years, and I kept telling them, go online, and they didn't. And now they're all doing webinars till 10 o'clock at night.
Excellent.
All my HR members, all the CEOs I know are all busy on video conferences, but not like normal corporate Cisco video conferences, but like Zoom calls where common people are connecting. And what's going to happen now is in the next 3 months, the corporate comfort zone is going to change. They are going to get comfortable with the digital world. That's the first thing that's going to happen. The second thing that's going to happen is the HRs and the CEOs are going to realize that the amount of money they spend on offline trainings is not necessary.
Okay.
And they can get the same results online, or if not the same, at least 70-80% results can be the same if they hire the right people. So people who are going to be ready for it in the next 1 year in the digital world, suddenly the digital corporate training world is going to go up. While the offline trainings will never die away, but the digital training world is really going to go up. And I think that's where I'm being prepared for too with your systems, because now I'm looking at implementing this system for the corporate world.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So what advice would you give for a corporate trainer right now who's probably still not embraced this? They're still, the head is spinning around on what is going on. What would be the steps you would give them on what they should do next? Like how should they prepare themselves? Like you mentioned the yin yang concept. Next 3 to 6 months, what should they do? Like step 1, step 2, step 3, anything from your perspective?
Yeah. So the first thing I would ask people to do who are corporate trainers like me is stop that resistance of change. Okay, we are all resisting that technology change that we have to go through. And we're saying, this is not our cup of tea, technology is not my strength and all of that stuff. And I went through that too. But when I went through a system, I realized it's not that difficult. So I would say, take the first step, take that leap of faith and dive into this technology. Because it's not as difficult as it looks. When you started corporate training, it must have not been easy in the first year. So this is not going to be easy for the first 1 or 2 months, I can tell you that. But after 2 months, it's going to be a piece of cake. It's actually easier than the corporate training world. So that's the first step I would say. Second step I would ask all corporate trainers to take advantage of the B2C world also. I think I got in late. If I had got in 3 or 4 years ago when you got in, I think I would have been there with you by now. Right?
Yes.
I kind of missed the train 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago. And the weirdest part that I would share with my corporate training friends is I had access to people who you are learning from right now 10 years ago. And I'm not kidding about that. Okay, I knew those names. I knew those people. I had subscribed to their blogs like Vic and Sam and stuff, people like that, and Stephen James and all of these people, right? And I never believed in affiliate marketing. I never believed in all of these things. And I always found that beneath me. But that's the mistake I made. Vanity was the biggest mistake I made a few years ago. And I want to confess that now. That let go of that vanity, let go of that arrogance of which I went through of this is beneath me, affiliate marketing is not for me, digital marketing is not for me, personal touch is everything, the whole world is changing. Just go dive into that technology world and you'll see a world going up.
Amazing. Thanks, Mitesh, for sharing that. Now, I wanted to just tap into your more personal side now. Like you also seem to have a good grounding and background in spirituality, personal development, and you've also written this book on law of attraction. So just tell a little bit about how that has influenced your training business. How has it impacted the way that you train, and why is that important?
So it's extremely critical. This is something that I'm doing with my students right now in the digital system as I'm coaching them to become coaches. One of the things that I've learned best in my spiritual grounding is to let go of all the fears. And I remember many years ago, one of my mentors gave me an exercise of going and spending a night. Okay, don't get freaked out by that, okay? Go and spend an entire night in I don't know what's the word in English for that, but where they burn, in a crematorium.
Crematorium. Okay.
In a crematorium, right? Where dead bodies are burned. And being a Hindu, that's where I went.
Okay.
And he said, go spend an entire night there. And I want you to realize that all your fears are illusions. And I want you to let go of one thing, which is life itself. And realize that one day, anyway, everybody's going to die. And you watch people dying that night and watch people burning that night. and realize how futile this whole thing is. And if you can get detached to life itself, then you could start practicing what he calls as detached results. Get committed to your results, he said, but don't be too attached to your results. Like, don't associate your results so much to yourself that you create a goal for yourself that in this webinar I will have so many people and so many people will convert. And then you get so much associated to that result and so attached that if those many people don't convert, your entire existence falls. And that's what he calls attachment. And once I let go of that, I think the way I delivered programs after that was very beautiful. I would not say powerful, I would say beautiful, because then I could really focus on work. Then I could really focus on making a difference. And I think that's the one thing that I'm constantly coaching my students on right now, saying just focus on making a difference. And the beautiful part is I hear you saying that message again and again.
Yeah.
The money is the side effect.
Absolutely. And I'm so honored to have somebody like you. I mean, I truly believe in that. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And the fact that I'm speaking to you right now means, I mean, our value systems are aligned, you know, in some way or the other. So I'm so happy that you have that as a part of your process, because you'll never imagine what can happen. Now I'm seeing this happen in my own tribe. Like everyone going out there, they're creating their systems. All of them are having the same values. And I'm getting messages like, you know, I saw this webinar and I knew when I saw the webinar, I knew that he's your student or she's your student. You know, they're saying the same language, talking the same thing. And it's such an amazing thing. And you're going to experience that too, as you're building your next level of, trainers and leaders going out there. It's so fulfilling here.
Yeah, it is.
Superb. Yeah. So thank you so much, Mitesh. I think this has been a great, interview. A lot of people are watching, you're getting value. So, if you found this useful, please hit the like button, share your comments in the comment box. And what is your key learning that you got from this particular segment from somebody who's been in the corporate world, who's trained some of the best leaders, and now, getting ready to embrace digital in the next phase that we're heading into. So Mitesh, before we leave, any words of wisdom? I know you've shared a lot of, golden nuggets already, but before you leave, any words of wisdom that you want to share with anyone who wants to live a great life? Like, I know you've been influenced by Tony Robbins and a few others. So based on all that, is there anything that you want to share specifically, something which is very narrowed down on how to live a great and amazing life?
One thing that has connected the most with me, which Tony Robbins practices himself, and I really got crystallized with that with John D. Martini.
Yeah,
was always make goals based on your values. One of the reasons people are not motivated in their life is because their goals are not aligned with their values.
Right.
So for an example, I see something and I get attracted to that and I say, okay, wow, even I want to do this. So what I get attracted by is probably Sid's success. But what I'm not thinking is, do I value what Sid values in order to make that happen? And if I don't, then I'm going to procrastinate in that area, I'm going to struggle in that area, and then I'm going to fall down in that area. So best is, there's nothing wrong with modeling people. You should model people because that's the shortcut to life, like Tony Robbins says. But during modeling, make sure, and this is especially in the digital world, because I see that it's happening in the community right now.
Yes.
Like a lot of people are modeling, which is good. But during modeling, make sure that you're modeling based on your strengths.
Yeah.
Right? So that while you're modeling based on your strengths, every day is effortless for you.
Yes.
Like when you get up in the morning, you're not worried about what you're going to teach your students. Because you know this is something you have imbibed for years in your life. It's your strength. What you're modeling now is just a system. But your original signature also always has to be into it.
Amazing. Great. So model, but look at the values. Set your goals based on the value system of where you want to go. Fantastic. Thank you, Mitesh. And those of you watching here, I've just given links in the description. You can go and check out what work Mitesh is doing. That's awesome. And if you want to learn exactly what systems Mitesh implemented, I have another link over there. You can go and check out my formula. Jump in the bandwagon and let's change the world together. Truly, it was amazing, Mitesh. I look forward to interviewing you next when you achieve a crore.
Done.
And let's do that.
This year, my goal is to make sure that 100 of my students make 50 lakhs each.
Fantastic.
So 50 crores in the market because of us.
Absolutely. And Zig Ziglar quote, right? When you help enough people get what they want, you're going to get whatever you want and even more.
I'm with you on that mission of helping 10,000, like 1 lakh people out
1
there.
lakh people. Awesome, Mitesh. Great to have you in this community, and let's rock the house. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.